These days, it can be hard to trust the media. What's true, what's fake, and who is behind the message? I'm a freelance journalist and videographer who has spent years studying the media. Now I'm taking a look at what local, regional, and national news stories mean to us here in North Central Washington. I'm Dominick Bonny, and this is Common Sense. Hello and welcome to Common Sense. I'm Dominick Bonny, and in this episode, we're going to meet a local small business owner, competitive powerlifter, and single mother, Monica Cahalan. She's a strong, independent woman who has raised 5 children and built a thriving salon with her business partner, Michael. But she is also looking to qualify for nationals in Las Vegas in a powerlifting qualifier in Bremerton this week. I met up with Monica and filmed part of her workout at Ops Performance Systems on South Wenatchee Ave last week, and then sat down with her for an interview at her salon in Old Station later that day. Let's go to that interview right now.
I started lifting maybe over a decade ago with just like general physical fitness and strength training, that kind of a thing. I had an injury that I was trying to work around. I did a lot of running, trail running, that kind of a thing, developed an injury. And after physical therapy, it was suggested to do some glute and quad strengthening. And so I hired a trainer, really great guy out of Kashmir, and worked with him for years and realized I was pretty strong and found the sport of powerlifting through just research and wanted to give it a try. So I hired Dave Osborne at Osborne Performance Systems, and I've been with him for I think going on 5 years. So that's kind of exciting. Yeah, it's great. And I don't think I'll ever leave. He's gonna have to kick me out.
And what do you enjoy about the sport?
Oh, it's such a cool sport. It's an individualized sport, so you can see a lot of progress and growth on your own journey, however you want to take it. You can take it as seriously as you want to, or just make it, very casual and recreational and just learn to be strong. But I love the community a lot. It's been the thing that has kept me there. It has been the thing that has motivated me, that's made me want to be stronger and a better person all the way around. We've got some amazing people there. From all walks of life in our community, and we've kind of developed our own little niche community to support each other, and it's just the best time ever.
Yeah, it seems like you guys have a real camaraderie there. From what I saw this morning.
Yeah, I know, and it's one of those things, like you got to see like such a little snippet because we have such small groups that train together in different time slots, and so Saturdays are super awesome because like the majority of the gang is there, and it's just the best time. That's awesome. It is. It's so cool. Yeah.
And what are you training for? Are you training for a competition? I heard something this morning about
yeah. So in May, this past May, I competed in Montana at a powerlifting event with my team and got an elite total for that weight class and age group that I participated in. Which is a standard of measurement for kind of level of athleticism within the sport. So it was a big accomplishment. I got best lifter of the day, and it was super cool. Wow. I took some time off the barbell this summer, about 5 weeks, to heal up from an injury, and started back training, and I was just going to get a qualifying total for nationals, which is next year, and just kind of head over to Bremerton, which is next week. I'm going to compete. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Wow. Yeah, so I'm competing next week in Bremerton to get a qualifying total to do nationals. Okay. And which seemed like a pretty simple task and easy. Just kind of scoot over to the other side of the mountains and get my qualifying total, and along I go. But this training prep has been so awesome. It's been so perfect. Everything has gone really well. I've taken everything that I've learned along the way in the last several years and really been able to dial it in and apply it to this prep, which is about 12 weeks long and ends next week, where I get to kind of show off what I built over the last 6 months. So that's really exciting. And then, so this meet that turned from a qualifying total is now hopefully going to earn me my second elite total in a different weight class.
Okay.
So kind of a big deal.
Are you feeling good about that qualifier?
I feel great. The qualifier is going to be a piece of cake. Yeah, piece of cake. Since the goal kind of shifted from qualifying total to another elite total has got me kind of super pumped. It's a much bigger goal, and it's just going to set me up for success to really take the next 6 months to train for nationals and dig deep and get super strong.
And where is nationals?
Vegas.
Okay.
July 7th.
So that's kind of your...
That's my big goal at the moment. I have bigger ones, but for the moment, yeah, the near future, that's the biggest.
How about your work as a stylist? What made you want to get into that? And now you have this is a salon, salon, that's you and Michael, right?
Yeah. I've been doing hair since 2001. And have made lots of changes and progressions in that career when the time was right. It was, you're in a situation where you're fostering your craft, you're honing it, and really gaining all the skills necessary to ultimately take you to the next level of success. And it's sometimes you outgrow situations, and it's time to expand your wings. And so Michael and I did that with our new shop, M Salon, that's located in the Omi Garden Business Park building, and we are having the best time. I have the most fabulous business partner I could ever hope for. So yeah, we're a great team. We have a really fun time.
For sure. And you guys, and it's going well. It seems
really
like it's
well.
very successful. I mean, you guys are booked. You can't even take on new clients.
No, we're not accepting new clients at the moment. We both are very like-minded, and we're in the middle of building an extension company, which is a huge portion of our clientele. It's something that we've really worked very hard on developing, and we're still in the process of kind of launching a whole nother sector of our business.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really good.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it seems like you have the mentality there between the two, your business and accomplishing your business goals as well as accomplishing your powerlifting goals. There's a common theme here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's been one of the best things about powerlifting. It has totally changed my life for the better. I can't think of one negative thing that it's brought. It's taught me about goal setting and perseverance and long-term goals. I mean, we live in such an instant gratification lifestyle. Everything is so quick, so immediate, and I'm not opposed to a lot of those things. We all benefit from the convenience of that. But there's something to be said about setting yourself up for with long-term goals and having to work really hard to see those come to fruition. It takes sometimes a lot of sacrifice and definitely the dedication and will to dig through some really gross, ugly, painful moments to ultimately get to the end goal. It's hard work. That's definitely translated over into my work ethic. I've learned to be more, my time management has definitely gotten better. I have learned how to compartmentalize and put things in order where I prioritize my time and where I can be successful at all of those things. I train really early in the morning because nothing can stop me then. Nobody's awake most of the time that I'm there, or they're just getting up, and so nothing can kind of interrupt that selfish moment for me to dedicate time to myself and my goals. So.
Very awesome. And that's actually kind of touches on another theme is your time management skills, because you're also raising kids on your own. You have, 5 kids?
5 kids. I only have 2 at home anymore. Everybody left within the last year or so. And they're all launching and doing their own thing, and they're an awesome group of people. It's been challenging, and that kind of... anybody that knows me knows that I have like 5 rings of fire that I'm juggling at all times. And if it weren't a salon and powerlifting and 5 kids, it would probably be 5 other hoops that I were trying to toss. So I think that's just who I am, and really owning that. I'm a person that likes to set some goals and kill it, and I think learning the reward of hard work is way more satisfying than any external, gratification could give me. It's, and I will say that about like my coach is super awesome. Like we were shut down for a period of time and the gym access wasn't a thing, and so I built a gym in my house, quite literally, and gathered up enough weight to keep me going, and I hunkered down and I used that time to my advantage, and I worked hard every single day, and nothing was gonna really kind of get in the way of that. I just made best with the situation that we had, and my coach still coached me online over, so I got to know what it's like to have an online coach too. But, sticking through that whole period of time where I had to learn how to self-motivate for real. Yeah. I didn't have my gym people. I didn't have my coach standing over my back. I didn't, have that instant, iron sharpens iron. I had to find internal motivation. I learned a lot. And I got to implement that as soon as I went back. I, got to get in the gym and take all of those skills and apply them. And it's been great.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, because now I remember, because we're Facebook friends, how you were posting almost every day from your, as you built this.
Yeah, I built a gym out of scrap wood that was like in my house. Yeah. Like we had some 2x4s that hadn't been used. I went to my dad's barn and pulled out a bunch of stuff, and my son and I built a squat rack bench combo and took out a closet in a bedroom in my house, and it looks really awesome now. It was quite an experience, but I have zero regrets about it. Yeah. It was awesome.
Well, that's a pretty inspirational part of the whole story too, because as other people were kind of freaking out and going off track basically. I mean, here you are kind of persevering through that, finding a way to make do, and building your own gym.
We all have choices in those situations. We can adapt and pivot, and that's what I did. And my kids were awesome. They were so great, like such motivation for me on the daily, but in that whole situation, like I incorporated them in it too, and my son was spotting me and lifting with me, and now I have my two youngest kids go to the gym with me too, and they're really into it also. And
one of your daughters.
Roxy, she's awesome. She's so dedicated too, and she gets up at 5 too. Wow. So 2 days a week.
Yeah,
that's great.
Great example.
Yeah.
So I guess my question would be, how do you find time for everything?
I don't know. No. Really strategically, like I live and die by my lists and schedules. So I schedule time for everything, including training. It exists on my work calendar. It exists on my personal calendar, all of it. It's just very compartmentalized, and the tricky thing is making sure having enough time for all the other side of me, which is my home life, my family life, my kids. Finding the balance for all of those things is really challenging, but just having to be really intentional about it. And that's been a good lesson to teach my kids too. If you want something to happen, you have to make it happen. And then that includes like scheduling an appointment with yourself for yourself. And that's pretty much how I run everything.
Stay tuned for more after the break.
Hey, Ellie, what's troubling you?
No one cares about insulation.
Out of sight, out of mind, I guess.
But it's just so effective and inexpensive. It's one of the best ways to warm your home. Shein's PUD $1 per square foot rebate can often pay for the cost of a DIY blow-in installation to an attic. So are you going to check out the rebates at SheinPUD.org/save today?
Yeah!
Can you help me down? Let's go to SheinPUD.org/save today.
When it comes to finding a memory care community, you want the very best. You want to know that your loved one is safe and receiving compassionate care in a loving environment. Fieldstone Memory Care is an innovative assisted living community designed for those with Alzheimer's, dementia, and Parkinson's disease. You'll find a community specifically designed to enrich residents' lives. The Fieldstone team is here to help you navigate the important decisions you face when a loved one has dementia or Alzheimer's. Welcome home to Fieldstone.
Hi there, it's Les SCHWAB Tires, reminding you that changing seasons can mean changing road conditions. Introducing the brand new Backcountry AT2 for a quieter ride with improved performance in wet conditions. Because when it comes to keeping your family safe, the right tires help you feel prepared for anything. Seriously, anything. Now save up to $130 when you buy Quadtrac tires with financing. Les SCHWAB Tires, doing the right thing since 1952.
Hello and welcome back to Common Sense. Let's get right back to my interview with Monica Cahalan, competitive powerlifter, salon owner, and mother of 5.
What advice would you have for younger women and girls who, not maybe aren't interested in powerlifting per se, but you just kind of spoke to how you manage your time, compartmentalize, and how structure is really important. So what advice would you have for younger women and girls who are looking to achieve their goals, whatever they might be?
Oh gosh, that is the biggest. I could go on forever about that, and then I'm gonna sound like a mom. I've given this speech like 20 million times. One of the things like I just touched on is really, if you have goals and you want to achieve them, that is, looking backwards from that goal. What are the steps that it takes to get there? Well, I know in powerlifting it takes my time. My nutrition has to be on point. Sleep is incredibly important. And listening to my body. Those things definitely require some time management too. In all of those things, I have to make sure I have enough time to eat. I have to make sure I have enough time to dedicate the amount of sleep that's required for my body to recover and heal. So everything is very intentional. So working backwards from that goal. And it's okay to be, I hate using the word selfish because it's not selfish. It's investing in yourself. And I would say that to any young person is that, really dedicating that time to yourself is not a selfish move. It's an investment, and it's important. And when you foster those goals or the steps that it takes to get to those goals, it translates into every other aspect of your life because you're creating habits. You're creating habits that are going to fulfill the need for being successful at that goal, but those habits also transfer over into everyday life. It makes me really intentional about my job and how I manage my business, and so I think those are really important, is to be really realistic about your goals and knowing the steps it takes to do them. Having that information is the first step. The next is executing it, right? And it's keeping your eye on the prize. Long-term goals are really hard to stick through because all of us kind of fizzle out when it's not fun. And in anything, it may not be powerlifting, it might be running your own business or creating a startup company, whatever it is. There's a lot of nitty-gritty and yuck that come along the way in that journey, and being, having the ability to kind of stick through that. You learn so much about yourself along that, learning how tough you are, how strong you are, how mentally sound you are. I think that's really important to being successful and achieving those goals. But dream big. That would be my, biggest advice for young people. is dream big, and it's okay. They seem really scary and far-fetched, but there's a lot of little attainable goals along the way that keep you fueled and interested in that big target.
Yeah. The nature of masculinity has changed over the last few decades and the last couple of generations, and the nature of femininity has also changed.
Sure.
So this idea that women need to be subservient or, stand by your man kind of a thing, is kind of, it's not necessary. And somebody, maybe it's not for everybody, but somebody like yourself is a symbol or an embodiment of a woman who you can raise kids, you can own and operate a successful business, and you can set and accomplish goals in your athleticism. So that, if that's my last question would be, if you want to speak to that and just, I guess, female empowerment.
Yeah, you got it. Powerlifting for me has definitely given me a lot of confidence in a lot of different ways. Physicality, number one. I think that's something that and I'm not going to say just women, that it's straight across the board. We're, always challenged with the perception of what strength should look like, or what the definition of strength is. And like we talked about, mental strength is really important. Physical strength, they play a role hand in hand. Over time, though, the concept of what strength should look like has shifted, and I am really proud to be an example of what that is. I feel really confident. It's in who I am. For the first time, I'm almost 40, and it's taken me that long to feel good in my skin. And it's not just being comfortable in the skin I'm in and how it looks. It's what it's capable of. I know what I'm capable of. I know what my worth is. I know my mental strength is good. My physical strength is good. My emotional strength is in check. I feel really empowered by that sport. It's given me a lot. I think that there's a lot of talk about women and their masculinity or femininity or what that should be, what it looks like. It's a really tough subject because it's such a polarizing subject, is women being strong. And I've never felt more supported and in my strength, in all avenues, not just my physical strength, but all the way around. I feel like I've earned that through my hard work and dedication to all aspects of the things that I've got going on in my life. But I'm proud to be an example of strength and muscle, and that I can still be feminine and still be a mom, and I can still wield a hammer and a saw and build something in my house because I feel like it. I feel empowered, and I feel like I could do anything, and it has nothing to do with that I'm a female or a male or whatever. It's I can do it because I'm confident in my ability, and it's okay to jump outside of the box that people like to, or that we sometimes get shoved into.
It's okay to jump outside the box that we sometimes get shoved into, she said. I agree. So often we acquiesce, we conform to what others want us to be. We wear the clothes we're expected to wear, do what we're told, go where we're told to go, and even love who we're told to love. And if you don't want to get shoved into those boxes, you might find that life is very difficult for you indeed. And even though things are changing in this country, and portrayals of folks who don't conform to strict gender roles are more common in the media and accepted in general, that doesn't mean that things have changed that much in small towns across the country. In places like this, the pressure to conform to rigid patriarchal gender roles is still going strong. Men should act like men and women should act like women, as they say. But who gets to say what a man acts like or a woman? Someone with the concept of gender roles from the 1950s might say, well, a lady wears a pretty dress and stays at home with the kids. She lets the man provide and always has dinner ready and waiting for him after he gets home from work. But since we're on the subject of ancient history, let's go further back to antiquity, a time when gender roles were probably even more rigid, right? Wrong. Let me tell you about the Celtic queen Boudica, who led an uprising against and conquered Roman forces on the Isle of Britain around the year 60 AD. After her husband's death, their kingdom was supposed to go jointly to his daughters and the Roman emperor in his will. However, that will was ignored and the kingdom was annexed and his property taken. According to Tacitus, Boudica was flogged and her daughters raped. Cassius Dio explains Boudica's response by saying that the previous imperial donations to influential Britons were confiscated, and the Roman financier and philosopher Seneca called in the loans he had forced on the reluctant Celtic Britons. So Boudica went to war against the Romans, and in that bloody uprising, an estimated 70 to 80,000 Romans and Britons were killed in 3 cities by the followers of Boudica, many by torture. The crisis caused the Emperor Nero to consider withdrawing all Roman forces from Britain, but a last-ditch Roman victory over Boudica confirmed Roman control of the province. Boudica then either killed herself to avoid capture or died of illness, according to Cassius Dio. The point of the story is that if anyone tries to tell you what gender roles are and what they have always been and always should be, do your own research, because the list of non-conforming women throughout history is long and interesting. And it's this pressure to conform to arbitrary gender roles that gave me the idea to start this series, which I'm calling Stronger Women. In it, I want to highlight local women who buck the very rigid gender roles that some in our society would put on them and not only survive, but thrive. Women like Monica are living proof that if you put your mind to it and work hard to achieve your goals, you don't need some patriarchal overlord to justify your existence. In fact, I suspect that some men's need to reassert gender dynamics made famous in the 1950s by sitcoms like Leave It to Beaver and I Love Lucy is because they feel their own patriarchal power slipping away as perceptions of masculinity change. It speaks to a deep-seated insecurity among some men, an insecurity that manifests itself in the need to buy $75,000 pickup trucks that are essentially used as commuter vehicles, or the need to grow big bushy beards like the French fur trappers who once roamed this region hunting beaver and fighting off bears, or the need to amass private arsenals of weapons that make the owners feel like soldiers of fortune or the stars of their very own action movies. But why do these men feel so insecure? I suspect it has something to do with the fact that most men don't work in the factories actually making things with their hands anymore. Many of them aren't lumberjacks like my great-grandfather or welders and pilots like my grandfather. Many of those driving those trucks that cost about as much or more than a new Mercedes probably have softer hands than Monica's. And that drives up their insecurity and makes them feel threatened. But that's okay, because self-doubt is a fact of life. And how you deal with self-doubt and insecurity is the mark of a strong person, not the vehicle you drive or the clothes you wear or the way you fashion your facial hair. So look for more in this Stronger Women series soon, because there are a great many strong women in this region who are worth highlighting. I'm Dominick Bonny, and that's next time on Common Sense.
Fall in love with high-speed internet from Localtel Communications. Cuddle up and stream unlimited movies and TV with SureStream TV. With speeds up to 1 gig, you can download music, apps, and games in seconds. Shop, stream, surf, and game like never before when you fall in love with Localtel. Call 509-888-8888 today.
I'm Dr. Wayne Latimer. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have postgraduate certifications in both whiplash, trauma and rehab, as well as sports medicine. The location is great. The light and the visibility, the 17-foot ceilings are fantastic. You can go into a lot of clinics and it's very clinical. People really like the spa environment. So my whole premise was take a spa environment, add the very serious rehab, and give people an enjoyable way to get better over time.
Dr. Divis is proud to announce that Dr. Taylor Pedigo has joined the Wenatchee Dental Arts team. After much research, Dr. Pedigo chose Wenatchee Dental Arts as the place to practice and Wenatchee as the place to live. Dr. Pedigo is an honors graduate of the UCLA School of Dentistry and has made our valley his home. Wenatchee Dental Arts offers complete comprehensive dentistry from routine teeth cleaning to sedation dentistry. Wenatchee Dental Arts now offering 2 dentists to serve all your dental needs. Call for your appointment today.
The Culinary Apple in downtown Chelan is your specialty gift and gourmet cooking store. Find everything from homemade fudge to kitchen gadgets for your favorite chef. Your holiday shopping is a one-stop experience at the Culinary Apple.